scorer of one of the great A-League goals a week ago against the Mariners. There he is, the number 10, who's looking to bring that form to Western Sydney. Victory also looking to end that run of 4 consecutive draws, which, while it still sees them in the 6th, if they'd won just 2 of the 4 draws, they'd already be top of the table. MacArthur, the other side, undefeated and top of the tree at the moment. Well, still without long-term absentees, Milos Ninkovic, Brandon Borello and Gabriel Kleur. Wanderers coach Marco Rudan can count on captain Marcelo, which certainly didn't look likely as he limped off in the first half last weekend. The Dutchman, Jorrit Hendricks, partners former Victory man Josh Brillante in midfield. The only change sees Dylan Parias come back in for Derby hero Zach Sapsford in attack for the Wanderers. Well, the 32-year-old Swede Marcus Antonsson got the equaliser last week against Brisbane. He got an equaliser late on against Newcastle as well. 2 goals to his name, but in the absence of Brandon Borello and the recent signing of Valentino Yule, the pressure is on the Swedish number 9 to keep finding the back of the net for the Wanderers. For Melbourne Victory, Tony Popovic, 3 changes from the side that drew for a 4th match in a row. 2-2 in Gosford. Adama Traore is back from suspension at left back. Damien De Silva has recovered from a hamstring strain, which pushes Connor Chapman to right back as Jason Guerrier is only fit enough for a place on the bench. Ryan Teague, Jake Brimmer and Zinedine Mashash continue as the midfield 3. While last weekend's scorers Fornaroli and Nishan Velupale are joined in attack by Daniel Arzani as it's Chris Economides' turn to head to the subs bench. And the 24-year-old Daniel Arzani, 6-time Socceroo. He was benched last week for the first time this season against the Mariners. He's back in the starting 11 for his 50th A-League match. And a little bit of pressure on Arzani as well. Marco Rudan, he has an excellent record against Melbourne Victory. Just 2 losses in 14 matches. It's his lowest defeat rate against Victory, just 14%. While Tony Popovic, he was Marco Rudan's teammate at Sydney Croatia and for the 2007-8 A-League season with Sydney FC. Ben Abraham is our referee for this afternoon's kick-off, with Kearney Robinson and Lance Greenshields the assistant referees. Tim Danaskos is the 4th official, and Chris Griffith-Jones is in the VAR room. Well, Victory may lead the head-to-head record traditionally between these 2 sides, but they've won just once in their last 8. Their last win in Western Sydney came back in 2019. The Wanderers undefeated in their last 4. And top spot will be the reward for the Wanderers if they can continue on their undefeated winning run. Their success has been built on that hermetically sealed defence here at home. But Victory come with goals, Daniel McBreen, and a record to defend of their own. They want to keep fighting for one of these top spots.
Well, good afternoon, Robbie. You're exactly right. Both these teams, genuine contenders. They would feel for the title this year, both with strong starts to the season. And it's on these big occasions that your best players need to stand up and be counted to make sure the 3 points travel home with you.
Miranda with the big switch of play. It's a lovely touch from Arzani. And a good ball right into the danger zone. Across that 6-yard box. It's turned behind by Russell. First corner of the match, down where the Victory supporters are gathered, will be for the visitors.
That was a wonderful ball over the top, wasn't it? And a great first touch from Arzani. And that's all you can ask for a striker, to fire it across that 6-yard line. Found himself on the bench last week, back in the starting lineup today. And first involvement has been a good one.
Jake Brimmer the set-piece specialist, to deliver. Comes back post towards De Silva, nods it back into a dangerous area. And it's Marcelo who gets it clear. Hendricks in the battle of the imports with the giant-framed Zinedine Mashash. There's going to be another corner as well, as that's come off Hendricks. Arzani with the first-time ball.
Well, he looks sharp, doesn't he, in the opening couple of minutes, Daniel Arzani. Plenty of pressure put on him this year to perform. Looks like he's got the bit between the teeth for this one.
It's going to be an outswinger from the right boot of Daniel Arzani towards the near post. It's Marcelo who's got it clear again. Marcelo, who had an injection into that troublesome right calf area after picking up that injury last weekend in the first half at Suncorp. Only trained for the first time yesterday, but got through the full session unhindered. And when they had the scan done, it appears to have revealed a problem with the plantaris tendon, which is, as Marco Rudan said, the best case scenario for an injury. It's one of the smallest muscles in the calf area and often feels like an Achilles injury. There you see Fornaroli stretching out Marcelo. Connor Chapman, who's already filled in at right back once this season for the absent Jason Guerrier, is there again. Brimmer with Teague. And look at the run of Adama Traore down the left-hand side, back against his former club. Ball into the middle towards Valupale. Josh Brillante getting it clear here, and Traore switching clubs during the off-season.
Well, that was nice movement from Melbourne Victory there. Valupale coming inside, drawing the defender inside, and Traore overlapping, causing some confusion in the Western Sydney Wanderers defence.
Valupale again gets it back from Brimmer, taking on Russell. Chapman's not going to get there. It's Antonsen, who was looking for Lockie Brook, but couldn't find him either. Arzani closed down very quickly. Mashash taking over. He's flattened Clisby on his way through. Arzani, Lockie Brook back doing the defending. Clisby slowly back to his feet. Won't be the last victim of the marauding Zizou this season. He's certainly not the first.
Well, Western Sydney haven't had a chance to even get their foot on the ball, really, have they? 90% is the possession in the first 5 minutes to Melbourne Victory.
And the ball is only in Victory's defensive half of the field because they passed it back there. Here's Mashash again with Arzani, little back heel, and Clisby put the brakes on Mashash that time. Valupale trying to get away. The pressure on Mashash. He's done well, shoots, great stop. And it's the away side putting the pressure on at the moment. Zinedine Mashash, so close to becoming the first player to score here at Combank for the opposition side.
Well, there's been a few, say, intense tap challenges. Ibrahim has allowed it to go on. We see a free kick on this occasion, but off the ball we've seen a few checks and a few body checks. There, everyone said, nope, you've gone down too easy, and Mashash with a great strike. Lawrence Thomas, as he has done so often this season, or in past seasons as well, down well to save to his right.
Another former Victory man. 122 matches for Melbourne Victory between 2011 and 2020 for Lawrence Thomas. He's made 85% saves this season. He has been one of the standout performers. And he's already made one very important stop to deny Mashash. Free kick for Victory. Brimmer dinking it in back post. Nobody making that run at all.
Well, there were 3 Victory players around that back post area, but just cut a little too fine. Didn't have the pace to get there on the end of it, but you can see the idea was there, looking to just drop it in that corridor of uncertainty.
Lovely control from Adama Traore. Back with Izzo. He looks long and finds Mashash again. That's a great touch to take him past Marcelo. Russell tracking back. Mashash still with Valupale. Victory trying to transition quickly this time, having been camped outside the penalty box for the first 7 minutes of this one. Alzani's turn to get involved, looking for Fornaroli. Well dealt with by Beedling. Now Connor Chapman's turn down this right-hand side. Jake Brimmer again. He looks up and crosses towards Fornaroli. Marcelo's header only finds Mashash again. Fornaroli turns it in. The flag has stayed down. And Victory are the first team to score at Combank this season. From an opposition point of view, at least. Lawrence Thomas is beaten, and it's Fornaroli who just can't stop scoring at the moment. His 8th of the season, 8 minutes in.
Well, the Harvey Norman replay will show Bruno Fornaroli doing what good number 9s do. Taking a gamble, look at his positioning. He knows the strike is most likely to go across the goal, positioning himself where the save might be palmed out to, and then it's just the simple task of putting it away into an empty net. We showed the highlights of his wonder goal from last week. We said he's great around the box, and he's just gone and proved it again, having an absolutely barnstorming start to his season.
Look at that, 8 goals in 7 matches. There was, of course, the 4 against Newcastle.
Well, there's been plenty of debate on social media, hasn't there, about if he continues like this, should he be going to the Asian Cup with the Socceroos?
They are just checking, are they? That offside call. Looks like it's been given the thumbs up by everyone. Referee Ben Abraham gets us back underway. And the Wanderers have to do what they haven't had to do all season at home, come from behind.
Well, we've seen 2 really good strikes at goal so far from Victory, both from Zinedine Mashash. One from the right side across to the bottom left corner, and that one resulting in the goal from the opposite side. So he's already imposing himself on that Western Sydney defence.
Brelante's turned it over with Valupale. Mashash. Valupale will need to find an option. That's come off Josh Brelante. So it'll be a Victory throw. Well, this is not uncharted territory. There we see the goal-scoring charts. Stamatolopoulos was at it again yesterday in Wellington for Newcastle. He's got 6, but Fornaroli leading the way. He'll chase this one down.
What did he get last year, Bruno? 5 goals all season? 5 or 6?
Well, he had the move as well, after not scoring at Perth.
He has 8 in
heading.
8 in 7.
7
last year.
Season.
So he's already beat last year's tally. We're in round 7.
That's 97 now in his A-League career. So he's not far away from becoming the 3rd centurion after Messrs Berisha and McLaren. Western Sydney were left bemoaning their slow start against Brisbane, where they were opened up in the fullback roles by Raw, who incidentally got up over Adelaide just a couple of moments ago. So they're continuing their great form under Ross Aloisi. That was away in Adelaide at Cooper's Stadium as well, so a big result for Brisbane. But that slow start, they were trailing 2-0 at half-time. Very similar situation to how it was against Newcastle as well for Western Sydney. On both occasions, they managed to come from behind in the second half and get the 2 goals they needed. But Marco Rudan was saying, we need to start better. It hasn't been the case today.
Yeah, well, he praised his team's resilience in the second half for them to fight back after a very sluggish first half. Well, it seems to be very similar this week.
Mashash again finding Arzani. Straight past Clisby. It's a great run. The cutback. Oh, Valupale was looking for the little touch, I think, for Mashash. There's a foul on Hendricks. Clever play again.
Yeah, nice play. Daniel Arzani stood up Clisby, knocks the ball one way, goes the other. Just that last pass is what Melbourne Victory on a number of occasions this season have just missed, finding that spare player in the box.
Now Ryan Teague charging forward. Intercepted though by Lockie Brook. Chapman there in cover and back with Damien De Silva and Paul Izzo. Yet to be tested in the visitors' goal. Melbourne Victory coming into this round of matches with the second most big chances created in the game, but the worst percentage of putting them away. That's what has really cost them. By
some margin as well for the next team. They're way behind on converting their biggest chances.
Clisby getting forward. This is really Wanderers' first incursion into the Victory box. Milanovic involved, back with Brook. Brillante and Hendricks. Lovely little ball over the top for Clisby. His touch wasn't the best, but he's kept it in. Parias is there. He brought it down nicely, but then couldn't hit the target. Let's head down to Tristan McManus, who's joining us on the sidelines this afternoon. Tristan, what's the atmosphere like down there?
It is unbelievable. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is the best league in the world. You can try your stats out the window. It was always going to happen, wasn't it? I was delighted. I couldn't wait to see how Valupale was going to go against Tate Russell. But it turns out that it's actually Clisby who's going to have to find a new way of dealing with Arzani. Arzani's on fire so far. Every time he gets it, he wants to put it one side and run around the other. It is unreal. He got a bit of a run around in Brisbane last weekend, Clisby. He's going to have to do something about Arzani today.
Daniel Arzani does have a habit of starting matches well. The big question mark that still remains is if he can play out of 90 minutes, if he can find that final ball. But on what we've seen already today, he's not far away from providing a couple of assists. Clisby trying to get close. He does do enough on that occasion with Brook. Now here's Marcelo. One over the top for Milanovic. It's a great ball, and Milanovic has done brilliantly, putting it onto his favoured left, hooks it back across. Antonsen, so close to the equaliser from the Swede.
Well, that's what Western Sydney do well. They can make runs in behind a high compact defence. And Marcelo, with the ball in behind, was a lovely weighted pass. You look here, it just looks up. There's the run. Good touch. And I thought just there he was going to dink it over the top of the keeper. And then as he crosses it back over, the header is just wide of the post. But they're just starting to inch their way into the game, Western Sydney now.
And Milanovic involved. That was certainly their best moment. Here he is again, Milanovic. Parias ahead of him. They're opening them up here. He was looking for Antonsen with the cutback. And this is better all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, it's like the 15-minute mark has come and they've finally woken up, Western Sydney. Starting to find some fluency in attack. You see here, just waiting for the run, and it's a great run in behind from Dylan Parias. Looks to square it up.
Brillante with the corner. In it comes Marcelo. Oh! So close. Well, that is the threat that the big Brazilian central defender provides from those set pieces.
Well, he's so big and strong in the air. It's probably one thing that you could say that he could improve on is that for his quality and the amount of times he wins headers in those positions, he probably should have a few more goals. On that occasion, luckily for Izzo, this ball was straight at him and looks like he may have hurt his thumb in the process.
Well, it was a powerful header, but it must have bounced just in front of the fingers and come up and stubbed a finger or something. Let's have a look.
You can see the power on the header. Just, maybe just jarred him against the ground. Went for the save.
Well, he's got 2 goals to his name. Marcelo, one of them from a corner this season. They are the best corner goal scorers in the league, Western Sydney, and they showed why there. I mean, if that had been a yard either side,
yeah,
it's 1-1 again.
Well, he did everything right, didn't he? He's timed his run, he's used his strength, he's got up, he's hit it powerfully down. He just hit it straight at Paul Izzo.
That's also why Marco Rudan gave him the captain's armband and why he was so desperate to have him backing up. This is a massive month for Melbourne Victory as well. The matches that they've got to play, Western Sydney are the next after the champions, the Mariners, last time out. This is a big one. It's never an easy trip to Combank. Arzani gives it away that time. Brillante. The coat hanger from Connor Chapman. Look at this, Melbourne Victories. Next games, the Big Blue next weekend, then the Melbourne Derby, and then Adelaide in the original rivalry. Keep in mind, it was Mariners last week and Western Sydney today. And that's not even including the sides above them on the table. Macarthur, Brisbane. How tight is the league going to be this season?
Well, we thought it was tight last year, didn't we? It just shows the wonderful league we have. It's so hard to pick some matches.
Beadling with Brook. Well, he turned the right way, but then couldn't get away from Arzani, who quickly finds the ball forward with Velupile. One-on-one with Marcelo. If he plays his cards right, Velupile. Now he shoots, but doesn't catch it cleanly. That was a little opportunity there.
Yeah, he had a chance. If he went outside Marcelo, I think early there, tried to spin him before Russell got back. He may have got around him, but to be fair to Tate Russell and Marcelo, they defended quite well. Marcelo just backed off and backed off. Allowed Russell to get back on the outside, and then that forced him inside where Marcelo wanted him to be able to try and stop the shot.
Another great ball forward from Joran Hendricks for Jack Clisby. Clisby back at Western Sydney, but fouling Arzani there.
Well, I think Arzani was already on his knees before Clisby got near him.
Let's say got the foul.
Yeah.
Got the foul there.
It's amazing how often that happens in the corner up there, isn't it? From the defending team.
Garudan not happy. Brillante does well. Brimmer has it straight back though. Mashash, little touch for Arzani. Well, the possession has looking a little bit more normal these days after the 80% in the opening 5 minutes. It's a good run from Velupile. Well, he had no support. He was trying some extravagant flick. Look at Fornaroli working so hard, telling Fornaroli he was offside to get back. He's kept it alive. Clever play from Bruno Fornaroli. Now Brimmer. De Silva with Arzani. Chapman. This is where you have to work hard, the little 1-2s. Referee not interested that time. It's another one of those little body checks you were talking about. Clisby comes past.
Well, there has been a few of them in the game so far, and to be fair to Ben Abraham, he's let them all go. As we see there, Bruno Fornaroli just 3 away now.
And maybe a little closer yet. Again, they win the ball high up the pitch. The mistake from Wanderers. And that will not be pleasing Marco Rudan. De Silva. Victory again, faced with the proposition of trying to break down this Western Sydney defence. They've got the possession, they've got the territory. It's Chapman's run this time. Beadling has to come out. You can hear the cries of Zizou, Zizou for Mashash. Oh, and in the end it's come off the Franco-Moroccan. Midway through the first half, Melbourne Victory leading, courtesy of Bruno Fornaroli's 8th of the season. It came in the 8th minute. The first opposition player to score here at Combank Stadium this season. And it means that Western Sydney will have to work hard to come from behind again. Mind you, if they've had a look at last weekend's game of Melbourne Victory against the Mariners, they'll know that Victory did not finish that game strongly at all. They were, for the 4th week in a row, leading, only to be pulled back. The only difference last weekend was that they were really holding on. Milanovic, no way through for him. Teague, Traore and Brimmer. Back outside, it's nice football from Victory. Passing their way forward. Mashash. Beadling came through the back of him, no free kick. Mashash quickly back to his feet. That's a good ball for Milanovic, who is playing a more central role today. Lockie Brook and Parias in the wide roles. Certainly an attacking Western Sydney Wanderers lineup on paper as well, with the fullbacks getting forward. Russell, that attacking quartet ahead of them. Russell's ball in, intercepted by Traore. Well, he loves putting himself about, Bruno Fornaroli, and the challenge of Marcelo is just warming up. It's a great ball for Antonsen on the left foot. Blocked by Chapman, corner for the home side.
Well, they've looked dangerous, Western Sydney, when Melbourne Victory press and they play that longer ball in behind. You've got Antonsen, Milanovic, willing runners in behind that Melbourne Victory defence. And those long passes have been on the mark. We've seen 2 or 3 now.
In front of the RBB. Hendricks with the corner. 25 minutes gone. Western Sydney chasing the game. The delivery in again towards Marcelo. Clisby driving it back in. Hooked away by Traore and Valupile. This is where he's dangerous. Nishan Valupile. Clisby getting back to help out, and then he can't release Arzani. And that's Milanovic driving the home side forward now. Parias comes inside. Milanovic! Well, he's got some left foot on him, doesn't he?
Well, I'm not sure how far away that was, and I think it's taken a deflection as well. But he has looked lively since Western Sydney have come into the game. See there, just tucks inside and he hits that well. It's a slight touch. Well, this will be a good angle to see. Just as he comes in, a little touch there. I'll tell you what, he doesn't get that touch, and it could have been anywhere in that back of the net.
Well, he's got 3 goals already to his name. Milanovic, he's the Wanderers' top scorer in his first full season with the club. Marcelo wins the ball in the air again. Well, he wins just about everything, doesn't he? Certainly in an attacking sense for the Wanderers. Miranda slicing off the boot, and that's an unforced error, if you like, that gives the initiative back to Western Sydney, and Hendricks is quick to take the throw. They're trying to up the ante, have a bit of urgency about their play. Beadling. That's not a gift for Brook. And now Fornaroli taking off again and again. Velupile can't find the right pass to take advantage of what was a very promising position.
Yeah, I think the better ball would have been to feet for Fornaroli there. He's not going to run away with pace, is he? Hit his feet.
Clisby. Milanovic. With Brillante. Hendricks for Brillante again. Farias coming in this time, which creates a bit of space for Tate Russell. The ball in. Oh, again, it was arcing towards Antonsen. It was a good run to the front post, cleared by Miranda.
You can see Miranda there just gesturing to his teammates. It's too much time to pick out his cross. It was almost a wonderful cross. You see there Anderson, number 9, just looking to get across the front post.
Despite the slow start, despite the early goal, it's the Wanderers leading the shot count by 8-4 already. But only one of those on target. The header from Marcelo from a corner from this part of the field. This time it's out to Clisby, who has the odd spectacular goal in his locker.
Well, he just got the angles wrong on the approach on that one. He's been in good form this season. You can see it straight off the training park. It's not a bad ball, but you just see there, he just has to sort of check his run and try and dig it out from underneath him. Not troubling Izzo on that occasion.
Well, he said this week in a good interview on aleagues.com.au that he's never been happier. Jack Clisby playing his football back in Western Sydney at 31 years of age. Here's Izzo. Marcelo and Fornaroli, those two wrestling with each other. That is going to be one to keep an eye on throughout the 90 minutes. Brimmer, was Arzani, was looking to take off. Now he goes again. Victory trying to play wide across the width of the pitch. Little touch for Mashash. His first touch is a good one, the cross. Thumping header away by Marcelo. Lockie Brook just out-muscled though. Arzani, it's a good run. Still Arzani. Just unable to keep it in play. I think that's out for a goal kick.
Well, it's another probing run from Daniel Arzani. You see here the acceleration off the mark. Yeah, leaves 2 in his wake. Just a little bit too heavy on the touch there. Sees across the byline.
Milanovic receives again from Clisby. It's a good challenge by Ryan Teague. Chapman there to help out. Damien De Silva with Miranda. as Mashash catches Hendricks. He's been in the wars a bit, Jared Hendricks, already today.
Well, that one was a nasty one. As much as I think it was unintentional, he just lost control of the ball. You watch here, I'm pretty sure he just tries to reach out here, and he's just late. Hendricks there, just quick enough, and as he flings out, his studs come down, and it looked like that's one of the ones that hurts. Again, I don't think it was intentional, just slow.
It's the second yellow card of the season for Zinedine Mashash. Azani lost his shin pad in one of those runs forward. Kindly returned to him by the fourth official. Now free kick for the home side. Josh Brillante again. Played square with Hendricks. Cleared by Roderick Miranda. Hendricks will get another opportunity here. Looks left for Clisby. He won't keep that in play.
Well, they looked to move the ball there, didn't they? But the delivery from Hendricks was just too short, too flat.
Popovic screaming instructions for his players. This is a good run from Chapman with Arzani. Closed down by Lockie Brooks. Lockie Brook. Arzani again. All the way back to where it came from with poor Lizzo. This time victory looked long, one for Parias to chase, but Adama Traore with front position. And after that really uncertain start, Clisby through the back of Arzani. After that uncertain start, Wanderers showing a little bit of organisation, a bit of discipline, and a bit of go and get them out there.
Well, I think if you scrape off the first 14 minutes of the match, I think Marco Redan would be relatively pleased with the way his team's played. It's just that opening 14-15 minutes or so was so far off the mark where he would have wanted them to be. And he'll be disappointed in the manner that they conceded a goal too. You know, the leading marksman free at the back post when the shot has gone in.
Brook getting front position against Arzani, but can't keep it in play. Arzani's effort applauded by Fornaroli. De Silva closed down by Antonsen. That goal from Bruno Fornaroli was Melbourne Victory's 50th against the Western Sydney Wanderers. Fornaroli backing in against Beadley. He still somehow managed to keep the ball after all that, and in the end gets the free kick his way.
Well, he loves the tussle, doesn't he? And I always love his theatrics when he feels it's not going his way. But look at him, he's feeling for the body. He's getting his body. He likes to feel the contact. And he's copping studs and shins and knees and everything in amongst all that. That's what it takes.
But he feeds off it, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He revels in it.
Here's Miranda. I think he was looking for Traore. Victory not averse to a long ball over the top, looking for those wide wing positions, but it hasn't been coming off in the last 15 minutes or so.
First 15 minutes we saw 2 or 3 really good raking balls, didn't we? Caused problems for Western Sydney.
Brilante's turn to miss hit the pass wide, looking for Tate Russell. quite a warm, muggy day in Sydney, a far cry from the 42 degrees Celsius of yesterday.
There was a slight breeze pitch side, which has cooled it down over the past hour or so.
Still 27 degrees. Heat wave across much of New South Wales this weekend. Schools shut at the tail end of last week. It's a long ball for Parias, who does very well to keep that in play, at least denying a goal kick. The chance for the Wanderers to just move some reinforcements higher up the pitch. The referee already, Ben Abraham, telling Adama Traore, so let's just keep things ticking over here. Brimmer clears long. We've got the night round coming up ever closer in just over a month's time now, on the weekend of 12th, 13th and 14th of January. It's going to be a mini festival of football, and it coincides with the start of the Asian Cup in Qatar as well. Socceroos' opening match against India will be shown at a live site. So check aleagues.com.au for all the information. Get your tickets as Lockie Brooks shoots, misses near post.
He's a little disappointed in his final effort there, but it was nice 1-2 touch football. See there, he just dragged his shot across that near post. Good little 1-2. Gets a touch, second touch out his feet. Just dragged it a little.
It's Brook again, accelerating, intercepted by Chapman with Mashash. Now Arzani, just to finish on the night round. It's 12 matches, all to be played in Sydney at 3 venues. Tickets under $100 for that one. And you can try and see as many matches as you can, including the Socceroos versus India in their opening match of the Asian Cup. Brillante. A little bit too much haste there, trying to force the issue.
With Adama Traore had read the run as well of Dylan Parias, wasn't it? It wasn't on. Now we see Melbourne Victory say, well, we'll give it back to you and try again.
Here you go, Josh, have another go. We know you can do better than that. Here's Marcelo. And after the opening flurry, both sides really now playing a bit of cat and mouse. It's taking on the overtures of a tactical battle now. Two very tactically astute coaches as well, we know, in the former teammates Popovic and Rudan. Brook. Oh, that's given away. Mashash trying to overrun Jordan Hendricks again. They survived. It's Brook's turn to give it away. And here's Arzani. Arzani turns back inside. Teague with Chapman. Ryan Teague decides to switch it away from that rather tight part of the field. Brimmer. Wasn't the easiest of passes either for De Silva there. Possession is evening out, still ever so slightly in Melbourne victory's favour. Western Sydney didn't leave it until the second half to begin their fight back today. Mashash, the long leg, gets a touch on there, and Beadling does ever so well. He might have caught Mashash with a stray arm. Wanderers are not happy. They thought they were going to have the opportunity to try and break away there. Mashash has a bloodied lip from that contact. There you see it, the left arm into the mouth. The referee was a little late on the whistle, but does give the free kick victory's way. A lot of the players, I mentioned, it still is 27 degrees out there. It's almost been warming up as the day's gone on after a coolish start. Players taking on a lot of water. Brimmer, he's done well, finds Mashash again. Now Brimmer has stayed down. Slowly back to his feet. Harzani up the line for Mashash, well read by Clisby. And really, the intensity of the pressing and the tackling at the moment. You can see Fornaroli illustrating the point perfectly there. Sliding in on Clisby. Fornaroli saying Clisby made the most of it. He only has 100%. Bruno Fornaroli on a football pitch. Now Brillante's turn to look for Parias. It's a good run in behind. Parias back now, and Ryan Teague tracking back importantly, stealing the ball away from Tate Russell. That was a great opportunity for the Wanderers, and they may yet have another here. Milanovic. It almost found its way through to Russell. Teague now. Fornaroli. One for Arzani to chase. Lawrence Thomas had to be careful. He did that very coolly. Little outside of the boot pass for Beadling. Now we're starting to flow from one end to the other again after a few minutes of really snapping at everyone's heels. Milanovic was looking for Brook. Marcelo with Hendricks. Brillante again for Russell. Marcelo with Hendricks again. Beadling. It was Hendricks that dropped back to replace Marcelo in the centre of defence last week with a little ball over the top for Clisby, and Paul Izzo racing off his line to claim that one. 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Fornaroli, it's a clever little touch, wonderful touch for Mashash, and now through the legs for Fornaroli. Valupale's at the back post. Fornaroli's done wonderfully well. What a finish into the top corner, and Bruno Fornaroli just cannot stop scoring. He used the decoy run of Valupale on the left to perfection to sow the seeds of doubt. And when the opening was there, he gleefully took it, rasping the ball into the top corner. And how about that initial touch for Mashash, who then put it through the legs of Marcelo. And that is some clinical finish from Bruno Fornaroli. Well, that Socceroos discussion is one that's going to have to be had. He is the A-League's form striker, as we see on the Harvey Norman replay. And so, for the third time this season, the undefeated Western Sydney Wanderers trail by 2 in the first half. Quite remarkable scenario. Bruno Fornaroli came here with the reputation as the player that can perhaps break down Fortress Combank. Well, hasn't he done it in style? Mashash twice the provider, and Fornaroli the finisher. Western Sydney have certainly shown that they will be a force in this second half historically, but also today. They have battled hard, but it is that man's world at the moment. Bruno Fornaroli, after last week's Worldie, he's added 2 more classic strikers' goals to his tally of 9 for the season, 98 in total. And most importantly this afternoon, probably inflicting a first defeat at the moment, it looks anyway, on the Western Sydney Wanderers. Half-time at Combank. Melbourne victory, the visitors leading the Wanderers by 2-0. Well, let's head straight down to Tristan McManus.
Thanks, Robbie. I'm just walking off here with Jack Clisby. Jack, bit of a slow start today. You built back into it and then that killer blow.
Yeah, you've nailed it on the head there. Started getting back into the game, had some passages. We just need to keep trying to play forward, you know. The times we're trying to play forward puts them under pressure. Get caught sleeping at the back there at the end, which is a big blow, so we'll have to address that.
So what do we need to do now in the second half? We went 2-0 down against Brisbane Roar last weekend. What's the talk like now?
Similar scenario, isn't it? We've got to come back out and fight for this game because, yeah, we're at home, we want to win. And, yeah, it's a high-pressure game, so got to win.
Battle's all over the pitch. Best of luck in the second half. That's it, guys. Two goals separate the teams at the moment. You do not want to miss this second half. The halftime show is the other side of the break. See you then. Welcome back to Combank Stadium, where Melbourne Victory lead Western Sydney Wanderers by 2 goals to 0. El Tuna makes it 2-0 to the victory. It's a great game, and it's time for the Harvey Norman halftime show. And I'm standing here with Daniel. Hungry Jack's halftime show. I'm standing here with Daniel McBreen. You looked into my eyes there with that long hair, mate. You just threw me. Oh. Tell me, what a game we've had so far.
Yeah, well, it's ebbed and flowed, hasn't it? First 15 minutes, Wanderers hadn't turned up at all. They got themselves back into the game after conceding. They looked like they were starting to grab a bit of control for the game, and then bang, a hammer blow at the end. El Tuna steps up and fires one in the top corner like he seems to do.
There we go, yeah. Let's take a look at the Harvey Norman highlights that we've seen from this first half. Talk us through them, Macca.
Well, I think early on, Victory were getting a lot of joy down this right-hand side in particular, and Western Sydney just could not get their foot on the ball and get it out, and it was sort of I wouldn't say a hopeful ball in, but it was a ball in that caused a little bit of trouble. Mashash had got himself into a couple of these positions early, but that's criminal defending there, to leave a man like Bruno Fornaroli in the form he's in, free at the back post when a shot is going in. I'm sure that Marco Redan will be in there now picking strips off him, but how that can happen at 6 yards out, unmarked, and taps it into an empty net. Now, this was I can't argue it's a deserved lead in this early part of the game, because they were by far and away the best team in the 15 minutes, Melbourne Victory, and they had Western Sydney under the pump. As I said, couldn't get the ball out. Lawrence Thomas got down. It's great for number 9 play, positioning himself in the most likely place where that ball can fall, and he had the composure to put it away as he does. And then just when you thought Western Sydney were cruising, getting back into it, getting towards a half time. Now the problem here is Tate Russell's worried about if Velupale is in support. He has to address the ball. He gets caught in 2 minds. Mashash plays the ball through. And this point here, if Tate Russell gets across and closes him down and blocks the pass across, well, then he might close him down and put him under pressure for the shot. But he just keeps backing away. Bruno Fornaroli just says, well, thank you very much. If I'm going to run all the way towards the 6-yard line, I'm just going to smash it in the top corner. That's another bit of poor defending from Western Sydney, and it's cost him dearly.
Yeah, he's just eating his dinner today, Bruno. Let's talk about the stats. There was a moment in the first half where I said, forget about the stats. Do these stats tell the story of today's game? Possession is very, very tight. Yeah, look, I think, as I said, Victory really dominated early. Western Sydney seemed to get back into the game. The attempts, one on target from Wanderers. That's probably a telling mark there. Look at Victory. 5 attempts, 5 on target. So they're getting themselves into the positions where the opportunities are probably a little bit better. So what do Wanderers need to do coming into the second half? We're seeing big battles all over the pitch. Gillespie, I just talked to him on the way off. He's having a bit of a torrid time against Arzani coming up here at the moment. Yeah, look, Western Sydney have actually looked good in these moments where Victory have pushed up and want to keep a high tight press, and they've made runs in behind. Marcelo's very good at those balls in behind, and they've looked dangerous on those occasions. This is another outlet that they could score goals from, and they're very good at it. Marcelo on corners. He gets up, he's big and strong. That's either side of Izzo on that occasion, and it's 1-1. But you're right, there are lots of tiny little battles going on all over the field, and I just think in the first half, those battles were being won by Victory. Ever so slightly, but just enough. They took their 2 chances, and now they're in control of this match. But we've seen Western Sydney twice this season come from 2-0 down to get a point out of the game. So I know, well, we've all seen what Marco Redan can be like. I know he'll be in there now, ripping strips off them and telling them what they need to do better in the second half to get this game back. He's praised their resilience in the past. He'll want to see that again now. Yeah, most definitely, and we saw them do it last week from 2 goals behind. Game management, though, has been huge for Victory this season. What can they expect? I mean, the game's far from over at the moment. We can see Marcelo here. He's not happy. Yeah, well, look, for Victory, it's pretty much more of the same. They've controlled the play. I think, they haven't really given, apart from Marcelo's header, they haven't really given away a golden opportunity for Wanderers to score a goal. So defensively, they've looked pretty sound. I would say they've won those midfield battles more often than not. And they've still got Velupale, Arzani making forward runs in wide areas and causing problems. So I think Popper will be pretty happy. Let's take a look at the Paramount Plus player index here at the moment. No surprises there. Fornaroli, he's sitting at the top here. Again, we might be seeing Rabonas coming out in the second half again. He will be hungry for blood at the moment. Look, any striker who's sitting on 2 goals is going, boys, get me the ball. I want a third. I want to take that match ball home. But look, he's a quality player. We've seen it time and time again, and it's no surprise for me that he's at the top of the player index. Again, I talked before about Borrello missing. He's a huge cog in this Wanderers team. Milanovic has that in him. He gets the team going. I think people get behind him. How do we get him on the ball more in this second half?
Well, they have to control the midfield more, Western Sydney. If they're going to get the ball to him to get to them to run at players or get him behind, they need to be in a better position on the ball, facing forward. I don't think they've controlled that as much as they would have liked in the danger areas. But he's been probably the shining light going forward. He's looked lively, he's looked dangerous, and he just needs a bit more support from the players around him.
Great stuff, and that draws an end to the Hungry Jacks half-time show. It's an absolute coliseum here today. You do not want to miss the second half. If you're loving today, you're going to love this week. The Asian Champions League continues as Melbourne City on Tuesday night take on Beijing FC, needing a win there for sure. If Tuesday's not good enough, tune in Wednesday. Stallion Laguna take on the Central Coast Mariners, who find themselves back in form. That's a 6:50 on 10 play, followed by the current A-League leaders, MacArthur FC, as they take on Cebu on Thursday night. Plenty of football after the break here too. You do not want to miss this second half. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
This year's Alex Tobin Medal is brought to you by Isuzu Ute, awarded to the best player of the season as nominated by the Paramount ANZ football team. The winner of the prestigious award will receive $10,000. Plus, the Isuzu Ute Alex Tobin medalist will nominate a junior football club of choice to win a brand new, top-of-the-range Isuzu D-Max or 7-seat MUX to be announced during the grand final. To stay in touch with the leaderboard, tune in for weekly updates at your home of football.
Welcome back to CommBank Stadium. As we approach Christmas, there's an early gift for Melbourne Victory supporters who have made the trip up. Not so much the case for the RBB, the Western Sydney Wanderers fans who are trailing at the break. There are the Victory fans who have made the trip up. They're making a lot of noise after their 2 goals. And well, they might be. They have the man of the moment in their ranks, Bruno Fornaroli. And it seems only a matter of time before we saw the chart, the list of players earlier, joins that elite club of century goal scorers in the A-League. Jamie McLaren leading the way ahead of Besart Berisha, and now on 98 goals. Bruno Fornaroli. There it is. He's already overtaken Shane Smeltz, Archie Thompson this season. He is on fire. Now, what do you think Marco Rudan is saying at the moment to that Western Sydney Wanderers lineup? There are a couple of players out warming up. Oscar Priestman is one of them. Hayden Simmons as well.
Well, I can see the goalkeeper coach Jess Van Straten in big dialogue with the referees, 4th official. I'm sure there's going to be some changes.
There is Ben Abraham, the man in the middle, but yes, the board is being prepared. It's going to be at least those 2. Here comes the official word. Well, Oscar Priestman already has a couple of assists to his name in 4 appearances off the bench this season. He was given a 2-year scholarship deal. He was the Sydney FC MPL captain, with whom he played twice in the Australia Cup as well, so he's another one of those players that has been lured away. And the Western Sydney Wanderers, who still have not emerged for the second half. Now, there are penalties in place if you do not respect the timings, and quite clearly plenty of words have been said, we imagine anyway, in that dressing room. Here come the instructions for the 2 young substitutes who are preparing to come on. Certainly something has to change. One thing they do have in their favour, and we've mentioned it already in the broadcast, is that they've been in this situation before, as Jack Clisby told Tristan McManus as he walked off at half-time. They've twice come back from 2 goals down already this season. Can they make it 3 out of 3? Tate Russell is one of those players making way. He was involved in close proximity when both goals were scored, shall we say. He's replaced by Hayden Simmons, exactly as he was at half-time at Suncorp a week ago. The other substitution is Lockie Brook, who's made way for Priestman in that attacking midfield role. So Brooks' return to the starting 11 did not pay dividends. Hayden Simmons was injured, missed the start of the season. The second half is underway. The home side, Western Sydney, have lost their record of never conceding a goal here. Are they going to lose their undefeated tag as well that goes with it? One that certainly Melbourne Victory will be hoping to preserve for another 45 minutes. Daniel McBride. Not only will it mean that Western Sydney miss out on going top, MacArthur will be. There's perhaps an early chance. Victory straight onto the front foot with Arzani. Taking on Marcelo, going straight past him. Was a good run as well.
Well, there's Mark Overy-Dan calling on the heavens to help him. They've done it before. On 2 occasions they've come back for a draw. So it's not out of the realms of possibility.
The corner, back post. De Silva getting his head on it. Simmons clears. Now Teague, dispossessed by Priestman. Brillante, look at the numbers on the left-hand side. It was all open. Antonsen and Milanovic streaming forward. And Milanovic asking why the ball didn't come.
Yeah, and he has every right to ask that as well. They had 2 players in acres of space. If they just moved that ball quickly, it was a real opportunity for Western Sydney.
It was Milanovic who scored inside a minute of the restart last week as well, which really just created that belief in this Western Sydney Wanderers side. Here he goes again. Strong in the challenge, Arzani. Oh, and you've got to be careful. Milanovic looking to foul and not much else there. Arzani asking the question of the referee. The little 1-2, Priestman with a nice touch for Clisby. He pops it up to the back post. Adama Traore defends well.
Well, it's a good start to the second half from Western Sydney. We saw this last week, as you alluded to, Robbie. An early goal really changed the complexion of the game.
Brillante booed by the travelling supporters down in that corner of the goal. Already there's a bit of energy about Western Sydney at the start of this second half. Certainly they have nothing to lose. Chapman with Arzani. Lupale coming short. Arzani coming back central with Ryan Teague. There's space here on the left-hand side. This is what Victory have tried to do, endeavoured to do in this match so far, which is stretch Western Sydney, switch the play from one side to the other, try and make them run, take the sting out of that pressing game. Perhaps that was how they were able to execute that second goal. That's a good pass from Velupale for Arzani. Chapman. Now, did that come off a hand? Penalty against Clisby. The arm raised. Was he inside the box? That will be the first point of verification. He raised one leg, but the arm looked raised as well. Certainly, Connor Chapman appealed immediately. Referee didn't hesitate, Ben Abraham.
Well, let's have another look here. You can see the arms raised up, but he looked like he may have been, just on the outside of the penalty box. We'll need a different angle to really clarify that.
Marcelo now asking the question of Ben Abraham. Bruno Fornaroli has the ball. He's looking for his hat-trick. Goals 8, 9 and 10. Let's have a look and see if it's inside the box to start with. It looks very, very close indeed. Well, it's hit the left arm. Of that, there's no doubt. Left-hand side is probably closer to the box than the right-hand side as well.
Glad I'm not in the VAR room right now.
Maybe there's a camera behind the goal at the other end of the field. Might be more deceptive than anything else. But one where we could try and get that line. At any rate, the VAR will be looking at it. Chris Griffith-Jones and Sarah Ho looking into this one. Well, they've come from 2 down already this season, but they haven't come from 3 down. Penalty is given. Decision upheld. So Bruno Fornaroli with the chance to net the hat-trick. Fornaroli against Thomas, and he blasts the ball beyond the valiant dive. And Melbourne Victory are knocking the Wanderers off their perch. 3-0 at Combank, and all 3 goals, Graham Arnold, we know you're watching, scored by Bruno Fornaroli.
Well, he just keeps pushing his case further and further, doesn't he? This here, was it inside, was it outside on the Harvey Norman replay? VAR's there to overturn a howler. They went with the on-field decision, and he thumps it away, Bruno Fornaroli, for his hat-trick. And he inches ever closer to that 100 mark. And I'm sure the debate will rage on into the evening about that man and the Socceroos.
And now Western Sydney with an absolutely all-to-do. Career goals 99 for Bruno Fornaroli. And Melbourne Victory, who we've been saying they've drawn the last 4. Only 3 times have sides drawn more than 4 in a row. Melbourne Victory were one of them. Wellington Phoenix and Western Sydney Wanderers, ironically enough. But surely this time it's not going to happen again. Or will it? Let's not forget that there was a certain 5-4 between these 2 sides not too long ago. Milanovic, he's a player that can spark something. It's his 2nd hat-trick of the season, Bruno, after the 4 he got against Newcastle, as the home crowd are starting to get more and more involved.
Well, if it wasn't physical enough before, it seems to have just gone up another level. Look at that.
Now this will be a real test. Priestman, he's already looked lively since coming on at the break. Oscar Priestman with Milanovic. Arzani forcing Chapman back.
I don't think there's anything in that. Just the momentum taking him that way. Just the ball behind him.
Just 20 years of age, Oscar Priestman. Western Sydney also have a new signing on the bench in the form of Valentino Yule. Perhaps the former Newcastle Jet will be looking for an opportunity as Antonsen almost gets there. The follow-up from Aidan Simmons certainly had Paul Izzo worried. Turned behind by Rod Miranda. Corner for the Wanderers, and is the comeback on?
He really gave it some, didn't he? Miranda putting the body on the line, or the head on the line. Felt the effects of it. Had a little crouch down just to regather his thoughts.
Great technique on that shot from Simmons, as Brillante delivers back post towards Marcelo, appeals for a hand from everywhere, penalty. So the Wanderers have a lifeline, and just minutes after a penalty at one end, it's a set piece from 12 yards at the other.
Well, I'll have to admit, yeah, there's Connor Chapman just throwing the arm up on first glance. Looked clear handball. He just throws it up over the top. I don't think there's any
Now, the Victory players, though, have just run to the referee.
There's no question that the hand's gone up. They're asking, I can see the shirt being pulled on Valupale, I think, just in front of that. There is no question it's a handball. But what happened just in front? Watch here, look at Valupale's shirt. Is that what they're asking about? I don't think there's too much in that for me.
Well, there's certainly grabbing on. I think Chapman might be saying it's all shoulder as well.
Well, his shoulder goes all the way down his arm.
There's Traore saying. Traore has just spotted what you were talking about.
No, I think this will be upheld.
The referee confirms decision upheld. I thought Ben Abraham was running with some other intent there for a moment to have a word to someone. It's just to make sure perhaps that everyone stays outside the box and the D. And now Antonsen with the chance to get the Wanderers back into the contest, and he does so. Consummate penalty, sending Izzo the wrong way, stroking the ball into the bottom right-hand corner. The Wanderers are on the scoreboard, and there is plenty of time left in this one.
Well, you'll see here on the Harvey Norman replay, a bit of a brain explosion from Connor Chapman, throwing the arm up, duly dispatched from Antonsen, and they're back in at Western Sydney. All hope looked gone when it went to 3-0, but they've quickly got one back.
That 3-goal cushion lasted all of 4 minutes. And look how eager they are, the Wanderers. As soon as the whistle went, charging forward, Josh Brillante leading the charge. We talk about the fantastic moments between these sides. Like that 5-4. Victory have so often held the upper hand in this contest, but Western Sydney, they don't know what it means to give up, to throw in the towel under Marco Rudan. It's not an option as Milanovic looks over the top, but too much on that for Antonsen to run down.
Well, the goal has certainly ignited some energy back into this Western Sydney Wanderers team. You can see that now they're a lot more alert, looking to press, get the game going quickly. Every time there's a stoppage, they know they're back in this and there's a chance.
You can see Marcelo as well, stepping forward. His role from here on in will be crucially important as well. Antonsen wrestling with Miranda. Parias takes over and hits it off the crossbar. How close was that? Well, Dylan Parias, he hit it so sweetly.
You can't believe it, can he? I think we all thought it was flying in. It was probably a foul in this moment here, but great refereeing again, allowing the play to go on, and he's just hit it first time.
And Western Sydney just showing us all that you cannot write them off. Within the space of 3 minutes, and perhaps we might yet be able to say that. They've come from 3 down to right back in the contest. Free kick on Parias from Teague and Valupale.
Here's another look at that strike. Abraham allowed play to go on, and Dylan Parias really let one fly. And if that went flying in, better off it was a game back on. So they're coming, Western Sydney.
The storm clouds are coming overhead as well at Combank. We could be in for something epic. Brillante's ball near post. Parias wants it again. Melbourne Victory asking for the handball by Dylan Parias. They're a little bit rattled, Melbourne Victory.
I think they are. I think the energy shown from Western Sydney now. Look at the press. They've played out of it well, but as we said, the goal has just given Western Sydney Wanderers players a little bit more energy.
Now Traore, as Victory look to settle the ship a little bit. They'll try and suck a bit of the energy out of Western Sydney. Great hold-up play again by Fornaroli. Marcelo clears long. Only makes it as far as Traore. He stays down under the challenge of Brillante. Here's Arzani. And with Traore again. Teague, Brimmer. Mashash. Oh, he just overhit it, but he gets the rub of the green. Zinedine Mashash. One way, then the other, with Arzani. How about that from Mashash? Turning on the style, still going Mashash. Arzani drives the ball in. There was plenty of pace on that. It's come off the head of Beadling and out for a throw-in.
Some wonderful skill from Zinedine Mashash. Enjoying his time in Australia, isn't he? Such great control in tight areas.
Melbourne Victory will also be starting to have nightmares, having conceded that goal. It's become their Achilles heel as well so far this season. Their one and only clean sheet came on the opening day of the season in the Big Blue, which is also on the horizon again next Saturday. This time in Melbourne. Miranda clears.
Well, the two best defences coming into this weekend, with only 4 goals conceded, have both, at this particular juncture, conceded 3 this weekend.
Wellington Phoenix, the other side that came in to this weekend with just 4 goals conceded. Newcastle Jets put them to the sword on both occasions. The goals came at home as well for Wellington, and so far for Western Sydney. Lawrence Thomas. The noise you can hear is the RBB. They probably need another goal to bring the rest of the stadium into it. Lift those energy levels. It's a good ball for Antonsen. The touchback for Priestman. Priestman hits it over the bar, but it's another really good chance for Western Sydney.
Well, it was a well-worked move, wasn't it? Great run from Jack Lisby, something he's done very well this season. Anderson, just when he laid the ball off, you were hoping for Priestman to be able to strike it first time, but probably had just a little bit too much on him there. Had to take the touch, then he had to fashion some space. Under pressure, fires over the top, but they are showing signs, Western Sydney.
Fornaroli goes without it. Brillante loses out to Teague and then fouls. Let's head down very quickly to Tristan McManus. Tristan, do you feel it's possible down there? Is there an energy on the sidelines?
Oh, most definitely. I feel like I'm in the RBB right now, jumping around, and I think everyone's starting to believe it now. The dynamic change when Aidan Simmons comes on. I mean, we know he's coming back from injury, a week or 2 more, and he's going to be straight in there. But Priestman has been absolutely excellent since he's come on. Everyone can feel it. It doesn't matter if you're 3 goals down, if you're 5 goals down. The difference with this Wanderers team this year is they just have that in it. They'll play it till the 90 minutes. They'll bleed everything. Oh, Pariah's unreal. I need to go. I'm watching this game. It's too good.
I won't disturb you anymore, Tristan. You just enjoy it. Turn the microphone off and live your best life, because it's true, this one looks as though it has plenty left in it. Arzani with Teague, a little space for Traore. Mashash. This is where his technique and strength could be precious as well. Zinedine Mashash, when they need someone who can stand on the ball and do that in the middle of 3 Wanderers players. Hold on to possession. Still time. There you see Marco Rudan on the sideline saying, now go, press up. Miranda with the touch. Good challenge from Hendricks. Parias. Well, you could throw a blanket over 6 players there, all kicking at the ball. The Wanderers have it back. It's a great switch of play from Marcelo. Now Priestman looking for Milanovic, but he's got his ankles wrong with that header. Certainly has made a difference since coming on. Apart from Valentino Yule, who's on the bench for the first time for Western Sydney. It's the same bench as a week ago, all 21 years or under. The likes of Eunice, Priestman, Bonatig, Simmons, Shikluna, all kids. But it's the kids that did the job a week ago against Brisbane. Marcelo again. Parias able to turn. Arzani very quickly alert to the danger though, but Antonsen wins it straight back. Priestman, Milanovic and Velupile. It's all hands on deck for victory. The wide forwards coming back to help out. Oh, and Adama Traore has just gone straight down after launching that ball forward. He's injured himself again, or is it cramp in that left leg? Milanovic! Side netting. He packs a punch in that left boot. That looks like a big cramp in that left calf for Adama Traore. How painful did that look?
Well, he was down. Western Sydney weren't going to give any quarter. Milanovic with a strike. The old magic pickle juice comes out.
A couple of changes coming for Melbourne victory. Then Falami and Stefan Nigro about to come on. We're at the midway point of the second half. Adama Traore will be one of those, we're told, making way for Stefan Nigro. The other player, confirmation, will be Zinedine Mashash, who makes way. A shake of the hand for Ben Abraham. And a couple of his teammates, one for his coach. Zinedine Mashash and Traore are off, so victory looking for something different. Ben Falami coming on. That's a lot of counter-attacking football in those Melbourne victory ranks now. Arzani, Velupile and Falami.
Well, Zinedine Mashash for me was one of their best players, victory. Maybe just seeing that it's 3-1, 70 minutes in, very hot conditions over the course of the week.
There is Valentino Yule. Is he going to see his first minute since leaving Newcastle 2 seasons ago? And to go and play in Iran before being loaned out in the Qatar Super League. Sudanese international. Little touch from Velupile. Nicely done, Stefan Nigro. And he looked up and saw the run of Arzani. Fantastic vision and pass from Stefan Nigro. Clisby alert to the danger. Free kick goes Victory's way, and it's a yellow card for Milanovic. Been looking for him for a while.
Well, yeah, there's a couple of occasions earlier where he lost the ball and felt aggrieved and clearly lashed out at just the player. I think that was the culmination of 2 or 3. I don't think he missed Daniel Arzani on that one.
Taken quickly, Arzani straight back onto his feet, which doesn't endear him any further to the Western Sydney Wanderers public. They love to try and get Daniel Arzani one-on-one with players. That's where he's most dangerous, as we saw in the first half. Brimmer drives the ball in. Marcelo's defensive header. Stefan Negro races to get there. Good pressure from Milanovic. It's back with Izzo. Simmons beaten in the air, and it's a throw Victory's way. Oh, now Jake Brimmer looked like he just hurt himself as he got the ball stuck under his feet, tried to flick it out. Now he's come back from 11 months out of the game with that knee injury. Jake Brimmer. Looks like he gave himself a bit of a scare more than anything. Referee's just coming to have a look. No, he is going down here. He's holding that left knee.
This is the foul, just on the sideline there, but you said it, Robbie. Brimmer just looked to flick the ball and immediately grabbed at that knee. Tried to walk it off, but doesn't look like it's too good at the moment.
Melbourne Victory are preparing Jason Guerrier to come on. Missed last week's trip to Brisbane with a hip flexor injury. Sideline. Well, he's missed a second game, that means, with injury this season. Jake Brimmer is making his way off the pitch. Is that going to be the change? It is. So Brimmer, his game, his run at 73.5 minutes. Jason Guerrier, who is not, absolutely not like for like, but an excellent player coming on all the same.
Well, I'm not sure if that will mean Connor Chapman will move into midfield.
That's the obvious switch to be done there. Arzani delivers. It's a good ball in. Oh, it's 4 from Fornaroli. Well, the near post header. And for the second time this season, and just the second time in his A-League career, he has scored 4 goals in a match. And what a way to bring up number 100, Bruno Fornaroli. Hats off.
Well, look at that. Yeah, he knows that 100 goals, the second time this season he's got 4 in a game, and we've still got another 15 minutes to go. As easy as you like. He is on fire. Harvey Norman replay will show it's a wonderful ball in from Daniel Arzani. And as simple as that, look, there's red and black shirts all around him, finds his spot, and he just glances it down in that near bottom corner. And isn't he loving life at the moment? 100 goals for Bruno Fornaroli in the Isuzu Ute Hyundai A-League.
Well, there it is. 100 goals for Bruno Fornaroli. What an achievement. What a moment for him. And it all comes in match number 169. What a strike rate that is. Basically, 2 goals every 3 games for Bruno Fornaroli over the course of his A-League career. That is some strike rate. across all versions of the A-Leagues. Daniel McBreen.
That's right. It's been around a long time.
What a player he has been. For Melbourne City, for Perth Glory, and once again reunited with Tony Popovic at Melbourne Victory. There were probably a few eyebrows raised, weren't there, among Victory fans when Bruno, at 34, 35 years of age, followed Popper from Perth, the former darling of the crosstown rivals. But he has won them all over in this season. It is emphatic. And it might not be finished yet. We were talking about Western Sydney on the charge. That's a good stop to deny Falami. And Western Sydney have to be very careful here.
Yeah. We talked about the energy when they got back to 3-1. Well, that goal has really sapped it all out again, hasn't it? And if they're not switched on, this Melbourne Victory team at the moment look like they could go and get another one or two. Confidence is up.
This is the third time they've scored 4 goals or more. Chapman's head up, back across from... He's not going to score from that angle, is he?
I wouldn't put it past him.
Curling the header back across towards the back post. I'll talk about the Midas touch. Guerrier throwing himself around. So is Valupale. Valentino Yule's come on during that last stoppage to make his Western Sydney Wanderers debut. He of course played under Marco Rudan at Western United before heading to Newcastle, where he spent 2 seasons, then heading to Iran with the club side Aluminium Arak, where he was loaned out to Sarai in Qatar. 1 goal in 7 appearances for the Qatari Super League side. And now back in Australia, wearing the number 11 shirt for the Western Sydney Wanderers. One for Parias to chase. Ball ricocheting, it comes to Valentino Yule. Here's Priestman. Beedling, Milanovic trying to feed Simmons. Teague comes away, picks up the free kick. Josh Brillante is the player who's made way for Valentino Yule. Arzani. Tony Popovic's decision to bring on Falami and maintain or try and reclaim the attacking initiative paid off with that 4th goal for Bruno Fornaroli. What a leader he is proving to be in this Victory side, Bruno Fornaroli. Talk about loving your football. There it is. Well, he's probably not going to catch Jamie McLaren, but he certainly...
If he keeps going at this rate, he might be there by the end of the year.
For a game. 20 games left to play. Extra round this season as well with the Unite round. So 27 matches on offer this season. And what's that, 11 in 7? Well, it's going to be lots of goals, no matter which way you divvy it up. His best return in a season was his first with Melbourne City, 2015-16, 25 goals in 29 matches. As we've got 4 more substitutions coming. Shikluna and Eunice coming on for Western Sydney. Dylan Parias and Jack Clisby, it looks like, making way. Shikluna will go to left back. Eunice will play on the right side of midfield. The other changes, Chris Economides comes on, and so does Fabian Monge for Melbourne Victory. This is one for Daniel Arzani, has come off. Western Sydney are playing for pride now more than anything. Connor Chapman, the other player who makes way. Bruno Fornaroli is now playing left midfield, or is he going to switch back now with Falami? I thought this is going a bit far now. Long ball, that's a good run. Eunice, he's in behind, squares it. Antonsen gets his second of the afternoon, but the flag is up for offside. We'll have to wait and see. The run from Marcus Eunice is the one that will be offside. Let's have a look. It's close, but it looks like he's off.
I think he's got it right there. Just a fraction too early. He had a good impact last week when he came on, didn't he? He almost had another one there. Brings great energy.
Shikluna controls and back to Thomas. Marcelo under pressure again. Now that's one way to stop Bruno Fornaroli, perhaps. Marcelo's belted the ball straight into his face from about 1.5 yards. No foul, but that absolutely stings.
Distance, the big clearance. Might be seeing a few stars there. It's a little dazed, doesn't he? I think it might have grazed across the eye as it hit him too.
It's a wonder it didn't go in.
Well, he might have 4 goals, but he might be going home with a shiner as well.
He's probably very fortunate that it was more of a glancing blow than
straight on
flush.
Yeah, and they want him in that team, don't they? He's just having a little look at a calculation, and I think he's responsible for 69% of Melbourne Victory's goals this season himself.
The mathematician in you coming out there.
Yeah, that's probably wrong. I've probably got that wrong.
No, well, is that just in scored? I mean, he scored 11.
Scored goals 11 out of 16.
Yeah. Well, that is some record, and I guess one of the discussions we were having last week when they were drawing for the 4th time in a row was who else is going to step up and help him find the back of the net, because he can't do it all on his own, or perhaps not over a whole season, but for the moment he is.
Well, he's proving us wrong, isn't he?
Economides. Simmons not taking any chances. They're going to have another chance from a set piece here. He's got his first header of the season as well. That was Victory's first headed goal of the campaign. afraid to have a little bit of banter either. Near post. Back out to Teague. It was Miranda who was in there now. Economides back in. Hendricks gets it clear. Yunus again. Priestman battling for everything. The youngsters have certainly brought something to the table. Simmons, great turn. He got his first taste under Marco Rudan last season and really made that right back position his own.
Well, there's plenty of youngsters getting their opportunity in the A-League this season, isn't there? Record numbers of under 23s. It's great to see.
Great switch of play. What a control from Yunus. The cross back in, missed by Geria. Yule now cleared. Hit again. Ooh, and Paul Izzo very confidently letting that one fly past the post.
Well, from our angle, it looked like it skimmed the post, did it? I'm not sure. He knew he had his angles covered. And look at this here from Yunus. That's absolutely exquisite. Great first touch and a good ball in as well. And here's that strike. Oh, it's a little bit wider. Our angle were deceiving.
Well, there is the Paramount Plus player index as Western Sydney come forward again, no doubt at all. Who's on top for this game? He's on top for the season as well. Bruno Fornaroli, ball in, Antonsen! This time he has his second. The flag stays down. And just minutes remaining. But Wanderers are maintaining the suspense right to the very end.
Well, we said this team wouldn't give up. Substitute on the Harvey Norman replay, Valentino Yule in his first minutes back in Australia with a lovely ball in. Antonsen with acres of space, lovely header, just guides it in. Nothing Izzo can do about that, but look at the space he's in. Great ball in, cushioned header. It might only be for pride, but the slightest glimpse of a chance, it's still on.
Just being checked. Goal stands. So Western Sydney, do they have something very, very special left in the locker here? Antonsen. Marcelo for Simmons. Negro is coming to close him down. Marcelo again, not to be rushed. I was trying to think of the last time Marco Rudan's Western Sydney conceded 4 goals. Adelaide
4-4 last year.
Exactly,
yeah.
Setting the tone. There's only seconds, minutes remaining. We're in the 90th. Marcelo's header. Victory looking to hold on. Milanovic, who's moved into midfield. He's such a versatile, talented young player. Shikluna with Priestman. He looks up, the big switch of play for Simmons. It's another good ball. Yunus is there, trying to open up. A little 1-2 with Milanovic. Stefan Negro under pressure. Plays it out, it's still alive. Yunus with Milanovic again. Fouled by Teague. Set piece. Another one to come, which means Marcelo will head forward. Marcelo, who almost got that equaliser way back in the first half. Jorrit Hendricks, the Dutchman, delivers. It's a good ball. Yule is there and he scored! 4-3. Game on. Game on again. Unbelievable.
Well, here we go. He was provider on the last one on the Harvey Norman replay, Valentino Ule. This time he gets on the end of the cross. He came from nowhere, streaking through the middle. It went past everyone, and there he is, the blonde locks, diving header, and we have a match here. And this is a nervous 5 or so minutes now for Tony Popovich and his Melbourne Victory team.
Well, they threw away 3 points last weekend. Valentino Ule with his first goal on his return to the A-League. And what an important goal that could prove to be. He's got it back. Victory have to be rattled here. They were leading 4-1 with 15 minutes left to play. And they are now holding on to their 3 points by a single thread. 6 minutes of stoppages, and surely we're going to have even more than that. One for Yunus to chase. It's too straight, too long from Marcelo. Victory will try and soak up every possible second they can. Paul Izzo all the way through to Lawrence Thomas. It hasn't been a night for the goalkeepers. 7 goals. It's been a night for the fans. A-League fans treated yet again. Ule able to turn. Good defending from Velupale. Geria under pressure. Looks long. Shikluna will reel it in. Jorrit Hendricks wants it. The Dutchman, the PSV legend. Oh, and that's completely underhit. Slicing it straight to Izzo. And when they need that clutch ball, they can't find it on that occasion. Mind you, he just provided that fantastic free kick for Valentino Ule. Those fans, they don't want another draw. Foul on Priestman. He wants to take it quickly. There's still time. Hendricks is telling Marcelo that it's coming his way. Shikluna bypassed for Ule. Valentino Ule is well defended. Chris Economides, who breaks away. If they play their cards right here, they could be in victory. Back for Economides. Fornaroli slowly getting forward. Economides against Shikluna. It's a good tackle and it's a corner. Well played, Economides.
Yeah, it's a great outcome for Melbourne Victory. Down the other end, slow the game down. Less than 2 minutes now. Well, I hope nobody went home early because we're set up for a grandstand finish.
Velupale and Economides are going to try and run down the clock as much as possible. Here it is again. Priestman and Hendricks will need support. Valami's done well. Got to be careful. Tempers can always fray in these situations. Offside, is it? Against Economides. You can see the energy and the tensions. Western Sydney, they haven't given up. If anything, they've sent a message that they are never out of a football match, even by trailing by 3 goals with 15 minutes left to play. Lawrence Thomas looks long. Antonsen using the body with De Silva, but Victory have it back. The Frenchman came out on top. Valami dispossessed by Simmons. Velupale's won the throw though. Referee just showing the watch again. Here's Stefan Negro with Falami, can't control. Is there time? Is there time for one last attack for Western Sydney? It might yet fall Beedling. Is there a clash of heads there? He's back to his feet, Beedling. Gets it forward. Milanovic. Here's danger. Valentino Yule peeling off to the left. They're streaming through the middle. The cross. Oh, it's too close. The flag was up for offside anyway against Valentino Yule on the near side. We've played 30 seconds more than the 6 minutes. Surely that was the opportunity. The final opportunity for Marco Rudan's side, who will rue another poor start and a difficult first half of football. They've already pulled 2 out of the bag, but it was not a case of third time lucky, or at least not yet for Western Sydney. It's all over. An epic match of football at CommBank Stadium, where Bruno Fornaroli emerges victorious. 4 goals, including his 100th in 169 A-League matches. It's a day he will not forget. It's a day that many of the fans inside CommBank will not forget either. Melbourne Victory finally put an end to their run of 4 consecutive draws. They're the first team to score here at CommBank. Fornaroli with the quadruple, his second, amazingly, of this season. Valentino Yule was part of that incredible comeback, scoring on his return to the A-League. Marcus Antonsen got 2, as Western Sydney refused to throw in the towel. But at the end of the night, they miss out on the chance to move top of the table as it finishes at CommBank. Bruno Fornaroli and Melbourne Victory 4, the Western Sydney Wanderers 3. And let's head straight down to Tristan McManus.
Thanks, Robbie. I'm here on the pitch with Daniel Arzani. Daniel, you can see what that win meant to you.
Yeah, man, it was amazing. A little bit shaky towards the end, but we stuck strong and we got the 3 points. It's the biggest thing, the most important thing.
It's great to see. From minute 1, I mean, you're playing with a smile on your face. Did you know you had Clisby?
Yeah, I knew I was going to be playing on Clisby before. I played with him before at Melbourne City as well when I was a young pup, and you know, it was a good contest all around. But yeah, I think we were just a better team on the night.
Yeah, there was battles all over the field. Again, we talked about your game management as it went on. I don't know if you got there just yet, but you got it over the win. After 4 draws, you come up with a performance like that. Just what does that mean to you ahead of the Big Blue?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, we've got the Big Blue, then we've got the Derby after that. So going in with a big win at Wanderers in their home ground, you know, they're doing well this season. It's really important for the boys, for the morale. And, you know, these last few draws, you spoke about them, they've been really disappointing for us because I think out of those 4 that we drew, I think 3 we should have easily won. So it was good to get the win and to see it out to the end.
So they hadn't conceded a goal here before today. I mean, they got a lot today. They gave it to them for sure. Is this a statement win for Melbourne Victory?
Yeah, statement win for sure, but I still think there's a lot more where that came from. You know, I think 4-3 doesn't reflect the way the game went. You know, if you watch the game, I think it should have stayed 4-1, maybe 4-2 at best. And we're a team that's going to score a lot of goals. As long as we can concede less, we're going to win.
Congratulations on today. Good on. Great to see you smiling again. Thank you. Right, I'm also here with Marcus Anderson. Marcus, apologies about today. Tell us about the game. 4-3 game. You went behind a lot, but I mean, you're never out of that game. You were never out of it.
No, today was close again, but it's just disappointed that we are 2-3-0 down before we start to really play like we want to do. So we have to get rid of that problem, because in the end, you can't do that for too many times.
What do you think that problem is? I mean, you obviously addressed things at half-time. It was 2-0 down. You came out, started brightly again, and then the same pattern kind of crept in.
It's difficult to say. Sometimes it's coincidence, but in the end of the day, like, it happened a couple of times now, so we clearly have to get this right. But like you saw now, we never give up. So at least that's something we can take from this game because it was a big one for us. So it's very disappointed not to win this game.
We talked about the conditioning of your team as well. I mean, you've been put through it, really hard grill. You could see the difference to the dynamics of the team when the young guys came on as well. Talk to us a little bit about the environment that you're working within here in Western Sydney Wanderers.
No, but it's an amazing club. We have a really good squad, and like you mentioned here, the young players as well, they're pushing every day in training, and they make a difference also when they come on the pitch, which is really pleasing to see. So that makes it a competitive environment, and that's what you need to be a top side.
Sorry about the result today, but thanks for giving us a great game. Yeah. Best of luck next weekend. Okay, there you have it, guys. It was a superb and epic game. We're going to dive into it on the other side of the break. Make sure you come back, see us.